So what I was
Now,
saying is come to lie down. Release your feet onto that stack of support you have under you and your head to a pillow. And as you arrive, close your eyes. I'll give you two variations for your hands. You can release your hands to the side, palms up, or you can interlace your fingers and place them lightly on your belly so you can connect with your breath early in the practice. And allow your breath to be natural here, nothing forced. Inhaling and exhaling from the nose. Cover yourself with a blanket if you'd like. And as you begin to find stillness here, let's begin to deepen the breath. So we'll take 3 breaths. We're going to retain the breath for a few seconds and then sigh it out, feeling grounded and allowing our body to release so that we can sink into this posture. So as you're ready, exhale a breath here and inhale a nice breath into the belly. Hold and sigh it out. Inhale, retain, and sigh it out. Inhale, retain, and sigh it out. Go back to your restorative breath. Allow your breath to be natural. And as you're here in the pose, see if you can begin to gently and slowly inhale a little deeper and exhale a little longer as your body feels right doing so. And as soon as you feel ready, release your breath and just continue your natural breath. With every exhale, begin to feel your back body coming closer onto your mattress. Allow the feet to hang out to the side and the heels in. And perhaps separate the ankles a little bit so that you have room so that the legs naturally fall into whatever posture they land in comfortably. And you don't have to hold onto anything. Roll your eyes to that space in your body that feels comfortable, feels nice, where you don't have to work at keeping your eyeballs in that space. And as you continue to breathe a natural breath, I'm going to begin reading to you from Be Loved Now from Ram Dass. And we'll begin at chapter 1, The Path of the Heart. If at any point in time you doze off, feel free to doze off. I will wake you up when it's time to change postures. The Path of the Heart. Imagine feeling more love from someone than you have ever known. You're being loved even more than your mother loved you when you were an infant, more than you were ever loved by your father, your child, or your most intimate lover, anyone. This lover doesn't need anything from you, isn't looking for personal gratification, and only wants your complete fulfillment. You are loved just for being who you are, just for existing. You don't have to do anything to earn it. Your shortcomings, your lack of self esteem, physical perfection, or social and economical success, none of that matters. No one can take this love away from you, and it will always be here. Imagine that being in this love is like relaxing endlessly into a warm bath that surrounds and supports your every movement, so that every thought and feeling is permeated by it. You feel as though you are dissolving in love. This love is actually part of you. It is always flowing through you. It's like the subatomic texture of the universe, dark matter that connects everything. When you tune in to that flow, you will feel it in your own heart, not your physical heart or your emotional heart, but your spiritual heart. The place you point to in your chest when you say, I am. This is your deeper heart, your intuitive heart. It is the place where the higher mind and pure awareness, the subtler emotions, your soul identity all come together and you connect to the universe where presence and love are. Unconditional love really exists in each of us. It is a part of our deep inner being. It is not so much an active emotion as a state of being. It's not, I love you for this or that reason. It's not, I love you if you love me. It's love for no reason, love without an object. It's just sitting in love, a love that incorporates the chair and the room and permeates everything around. The thinking mind is extinguished in love. If I go into the place in myself that is love, and you go into the place in yourself that is love, we are together in love. Then you and I are truly in love, the state of being love. That's the entrance to oneness. That's the space I entered when I met my guru. Years ago in India, I was sitting in the courtyard of the little temple in the Himalaya foothills. 30 or 40 of us were there around my guru, Maharaji. The old man, wrapped in a plaid blanket, was sitting on a plank bed, and for a brief, uncommon interval, everyone had fallen silent. It was a meditative quiet, like an open field on a windless day or a deep, clear lake without a ripple. I felt waves of love radiating towards me, washing over me like a gentle surf on a tropical shore, immersing me, rocking me, caressing my soul, infinitely accepting and open. I was nearly overcome, on the verge of tears, so grateful and so full of joy it was hard to believe it was happening. I opened my eyes and looked around, and I could feel that everyone else around me was experiencing the same thing. I looked over at my guru. He was just sitting there, looking around, not doing anything. It was just his being, shining like the sun, equally on everyone. It wasn't directed at anyone in particular. For him, it was nothing special, just his own nature. This love is like sunshine, a natural force, a completion of what is, a bliss that permeates every particle of existence. In Sanskrit, it's called Satchidananda, truth, consciousness, bliss, the bliss of consciousness of existence. That vibrational field of Ananda, love permeates everything. Everything in that vibration is in love. It's a different stage of being beyond the mind. We are transported by Maharaji's love from one vibrational level to another, from the ego to the soul level. When Maharaji brought me to my soul through that love, my mind just stopped working. Perhaps that's why unconditional love is so hard to describe and why the best descriptions come from mystic poets. Most of our descriptions are from the point of view of conditional love, from an interpersonal standpoint that just dissolves in that unconditional place. When Maharaji was near me, I was bathed in that love. One of the other Westerners with Maharaji, Larry Brilliant, said, "How do I explain who Maharaji was and how he did what he did? I don't have any explanations. Maybe it was his love of God. I can't explain who he was. I can almost begin to understand how he loved everybody. I mean, that was his job. He was a saint. Saints are supposed to love everybody. But that's not what always staggered me. Not that he loved everybody, but that when I was sitting in front of him, I loved everybody. That was the hardest thing for me to understand. How he could so totally transform the spirit of people who were with him and bring out not just the best in us, but something that wasn't even in us that we didn't know. I don't think any of us were ever as good or as pure or as loving in our whole lives as we were when we were sitting in front of him. Begin to take some gentle, deep breaths, and we'll begin to transition from here gently into our next posture. Take 2 more deep breaths. Nice. And now from here, I want you to bring the knees together right on your pillows and your bolsters. So bring the legs towards center. And then bring the feet onto the bolster or the pillows. Keeping the knees together, roll over to whatever side is best for you so that you can bring yourself back up into a seat. And now what we're going to do is we're going to reverse everything. So we're going to now face down. So you can keep the pillow at the head, and this time your bolster, your stack of pillows, you're going to bring them onto your bed. We're going to be like in tabletop. All right, so we're going to do 3 different things here. One is we're going to have maybe perhaps a blanket at the top, right, or a flat pillow. I don't want you to have a lot of fluff on your head in this posture because that is going to interfere with your breathing. So if you can have just the bed space without any pillows, that would be ideal. And you can have maybe, if you have a block or a roll right there just for your forehead, just in case you don't have room for breath. And then you're going to take your bolster or all your pillows and you're going to bring it towards the center so that you can lay your hips over them. But before you do that, grab another pillow or a blanket, roll it up so that you can rest your ankles on top of that blanket beneath you. So whenever you're ready, bring your hips onto the bolster or the pillows. Then bring your ankles onto the roll towards the bottom. And then start to lower your chest down. And I want you to fix yourself so that you can make a pillow with your hands and place your forehead onto your hands so that you have space to breathe here. Separate the ankles a little bit so that your legs can truly relax. And for the next 30 seconds, let's do a little bit of breath work to begin to ease the body into this posture. So when you're ready, exhale here. Inhale a soft deep breath through the nose. Hold. and sigh it out. Inhale, hold, and sigh it out the mouth. Nice. One more, Maria. Inhale, hold, and sigh it out. Go back to your normal breath, a restorative breath. If you need to make any adjustments so that you have space to breathe here, make it so that you can actually relax your hips on the bolster, your chest, your heart is on the mattress, and your head is resting on your hands stacked one on top of the other. And if you feel like taking any deep breaths, then as you inhale deeply, direct that breath towards your lower back and see if you can connect with that sensation of your lower back, kind of releasing, right, any tension or any hold or any stress. And then go back to your normal breath. We'll be here for about 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. Feel free to make any adjustments that you feel you need to as you're here. You know what feels good for your body. You know your body better than I do. Welcome to the path of the heart. Believe it or not, this can be your reality. To be loved unconditionally and to begin to become that love. This path of love doesn't go anywhere. It just brings you more here, into the present moment, into the reality of who you already are. This path takes you out of your mind and into your heart. Love is a natural human inclination. People in other times and places have found this path in many different cultural situations. In India, it's called Bhakti Yoga, finding ultimate union through love, a tradition that stretches back many centuries. Bhakti Yoga practices are a way to enter into unconditional love, into the radiant heart, to dissolve oneself in the ocean of love, in the one. Later in the book, we'll meet a few of the Indian saints who have become that love. We will look at ways you can also tread that path. There's no formula. Each of us has our own key to unlock the reality of our own heart. Falling into love. The first time you experience unconditional love as an adult, it may be a gentle melting of a glacier, or it may be more of a cataclysm, like a giant earthquake that shakes you to your inner core. You are falling in love, but the act of receiving love, that intense and all-encompassing, changes your conception of yourself. You can't swim in such a vast ocean and remain entirely in the small pond of your limited self, even if that opening is only for an instant, even if it goes away and is apparently forgotten. That moment of realization of the heart opening colors the rest of a lifetime. There's no going back. The lingering taste of that ultimate sweetness remains and won't be denied. Jesus used the metaphor of a fisherman. When you first feel that depth of joy, you are caught in the net of pure love by the divine fisherman. You're hooked on that love. My guru is like a fisherman. The ego twists and pulls and runs out the line trying to escape. But each time the hook of divine love sets more deeply until finally the little you, the personality and all its habits, the bundle of thoughts and desires, surrenders to the greater self, that being of pure love and consciousness that keeps pulling you in to merge. When I was first when I first got to India, I abhorred the idea of gurus. I was attracted to Buddhism, which appealed to the psychologist in me. How did I end up sitting in front of a Hindu guru? When I first met him, I hardly knew what I was doing there myself. But when Maharaji immersed me in his unconditional love, it altered the course of my life. My view of myself completely changed. That meeting opened my heart. In that moment, I opened up to the guru, not just to the old man in the blanket sitting in front of me, but to a place within him that reflected my true self. That spiritual self is the source of unconditional love. When I returned to the States after that first time in India, I felt as though I was carrying a precious jewel in my heart and I wanted to share it. I could talk about my heart opening and the new awareness it had brought. But the guru, I didn't really talk much about the guru because the idea seemed so inappropriate for the West. For one thing, there is always a mixed reaction to the notion of surrendering to another person. Surrendering in our culture is almost always seen as negative. We don't like being told what to do. We like to figure it out for ourselves. Surrendering means giving up power, and it usually has to do with ego power or sexual dominance. The term guru evokes images of con men and hucksters rather than spiritual masters. Of course, we are right to be cynical when we see so called gurus getting entangled in money, sex, and power. Seductions, tax evasion, expensive cars, high priced mantras. Even Hollywood had its fun with the gurus and cults, e.g., the love guru. The image of charismatic corruptors preying on weak minded followers is hard to avoid. Most people wouldn't know a real guru if they fell over him or her, and certainly few have ever met one. At first, Maharaji seemed almost like a magical being to me. He had incredible spiritual powers, but slowly I began to appreciate that it was the ocean of love that had truly hooked me. And that was the real thing. Here was a flesh and blood being who was living in a state of unconditional love all the time. That love allowed me to surrender to accept his guidance on the inner journey to find that love in myself. Later I encountered other beings, some living and some gone from the body, who helped me to see more the roadmap for this path of the heart. These beings come in all shapes and sizes and manifestations, as we all do. They are signposts and guides to help us on the Bhakti March, the road to love, even though we each have to travel it ourselves. Some of the beings who have inspired me are the ones who have also inspired this book. I hope they will help you on your way too. Unconditional love dissolves any rational hesitation as we become drunk on its sweetness. We are like moths circling a candle flame, emulating ourselves in a fire of living love. We're going to begin to change our posture. So let's prepare ourselves, and as you're ready, slide your hands back so that you can begin to bring yourself back up into a tabletop. And then from here, we're going to go into a supported child's pose. So I want you to take the bolster now this time, and I want you to align it, widen your knees, and place the bolster or the pillows right in between the knees. And if you want to stack them up as high as you like, wherever it is that you're going to feel comfortable. And then we'll need something at the top to support our forehead. So if you want to use your block, you can, or you can roll up a blanket or pillows and use it for that. And then you can get a blanket and cover yourself. Begin to cover yourself here. So we're going to go into supported child's pose. So you want to hug that bolster in really close to the body, Maria. And then when you're ready, inhale deeply. And as you exhale, release your body onto the bolster. Place your head on a block or a pillow. And then situate the knees so that the bolster is carrying pretty much your whole torso, and that you don't have that stress at the knees or at the hips or at the ankles. You can turn your toes in to touch each other so that the heels come out to the side. And then bring your hands, palms down, your forearms down on the bed. And let's do that breath work. And so as you're ready, take a breath and exhale here. 3 breaths. Let's inhale, hold, inside out. Inhale, hold, inside out. One more. Inhale, hold, inside out. Go back to your restorative breath, your normal breath, and just notice here how your body feels. Notice if you have any tension either in the buttocks, the hips, and if so, if you're holding or you're squeezing, soften that space, relax the shoulders, let the weight of your body be pulled by gravity and allow your props to support you. See if you can surrender here. Release any hold and give that responsibility to your props to support you as you allow your body to sink down towards the earth. Good. And I'm going to continue reading. Okay. Okay. Unconditional love dissolves any rational hesitation. As we become drunk on its sweetness, we are like moths circling a candle flame, emulating ourselves in a fire of living love. And then there's a poem here by Saint John of the Cross, translated by Mirabai Starr, and it is called Living Flame of Love. O living flame of love, how tenderly you penetrate the deepest core of my being. Finish what you began. Tear the veil from this sweet encounter. O gentle fiery blade, O beautiful wound, you soothe me with your blazing caress. You pay off all my old debts and offer me a taste of the eternal. In slaying me, you transform death into life. O flaming lantern, you illuminate the darkest pockets of my soul. Where once I wallowed in bitter separation, now with exquisite intensity, I radiate warmth and light to my beloved. How peacefully, how lovingly you awaken my heart, that secret place where you alone dwell within me. Your breath on my face is delicious, calming and galvanizing at once. How delicately, how lucidly you make me crazy with love for you. Continue breathing, relaxed breath. Just notice how your body feels here. Notice your breath here. Notice your mind. And if you find yourself being distracted, take deep inhales and long exhales until you've connected again with your breath and your body. Whatever your metaphor, and you can choose and mix your own, whether it's succumbing to the softness of the ultimate romance, being submerged in a tidal wave of love, or being pulled into the gravitational field of a star. Once you have experienced unconditional love, you have nowhere to go. You can run, but you can't hide. The seed is planted, and it will grow in its own time. You can only grow into who you truly are. You may think you are free to come and go and play where you will, but the beloved has taken you for his or her own, and in reality, you can only surrender more and more to that divine attraction. Slowly but surely, in a moment or over thousands of lifetimes, the beloved reels you in until you merge back into the unitary state of Satchitananda, the truth, consciousness, bliss of the self. The first day I met my guru, Maharaji, a bond formed with him that changed my life incredibly. A man from the nearby town of Nainital was translating the conversation into English for me. His name was Krishna Kumar, or KK. At the end of that encounter, Maharaji asked him to take me to his home. He told him to feed me double roti or toast, presumably because I was a Westerner unfamiliar with Indian food. KK first saw me as an uptight Western stranger and didn't know what to make of me. Yet he had received an order from his guru, and, out of the deference reaching back to his childhood, he obeyed without question. Without hesitation, he and his sister and brother absorbed me into the loving world of their family. They treated each other playfully as spiritual beings, not just as siblings, and they treated me as a family member. 4 decades later, we're still in that relationship. Overnight, I was introduced to a world where miraculous beings, saints, and gurus are part of the warp and weft of everyday life. It was nothing overt or messianic about it. These people were just living their lives. What to them was their ordinary routine allowed me to assimilate a sea change in my outlook for which I had no previous reference points. KK and his family had grown up with Maharaji. In Indian traditional families carry on bhakti practices that suffuse every part of life. Love is the unspoken language. With multiple generations living in joint homes, that living transmission provides a bridge for pure love from infancy into childhood and over the hormonal roller coaster of adolescence into adulthood. A family guru or a spiritual elder gives younger generations glimpses of unbounded love. Maybe you've had a grandparent or someone like that in your family too. We're going to begin to transition. So as you're ready, slide the hands back, bring yourself back into tabletop, and then remove the bolster from the middle. And now bring it to the side. And let's bring it to the left side of your body. Come to lie back down on your bed. You can have a pillow under the head. The bolster, align it right next to your left hip. And if you want to cover yourself with a blanket here, you can. And then come to lie back down on the bed. And now here, bring that bolster close to your side, and I want you to bend your left knee, and I want you to rest your left thigh, your left knee, your foot on top of that bolster. So opening up that left knee to the left side of your body, and rest that leg on the bolster with your arms here. You can release them to the side, palms up, or if you feel like opening the top part of your body, you can cactus your arms, bending the elbows and releasing the hands, palms up. Let's do that breath work. So take a breath in here and then exhale. Let's inhale into the belly and sigh it out the mouth. Inhale into the belly and sigh it out the mouth. One more inhale and sigh it out. Good. Close the eyes. Relax the forehead. Relax your jaw. Unclench the teeth. You can separate the lips softly, opening the mouth. Notice in the body if you're holding here anywhere, and if so, see if you can use your breath to release that and allow your body here to sink in this posture, supporting the left leg. You can keep the right leg extended, the right toes out to the side, heel in. Notice how your body feels here now. Notice your breath. How does your breath feel? I'll continue reading. KK's sister, Bina, who, like him, remains unmarried, squatted in the kitchen over a wood fire making chapatis. I had just reached the point of stuffed satisfaction from one of her amazing meals when KK engaged me in conversation. As soon as I turned my head to talk to KK, Bina whisked another chapati and a helping of subji vegetables onto my brass plate, which is called thali. There was no chance to say thanks or no thanks. They had the routine down. I ate it all. In India, it's an insult if you don't eat everything served to you because food is so valuable. This happened a couple more times, and pleasure began to become pain. But KK and Bina were teasing me with such innocent delight, I couldn't help but enjoy it all, even the digestive discomfort. KK is about my age, a few years younger. His connection to holy beings reached back generations. Maharaji first came to visit his home when he was a kid. KK's father, Bhawani Das Sa, was a circle inspector of police for the Camoan Hill district of the British Raj. Part of his duty was to open and close the great temple at Badrinath High in the Himalayas at the beginning and end of the summer season, and to keep track of police matters throughout the sprawling district. In the early 20th century, motor roads were almost non existent in the hill areas, and he traveled on horseback or on foot. He was a deeply spiritual man, and on his tours of duty, KK's father took the opportunity to visit the remote ashrams of many saints and yogis for whom the hill area is a traditional retreat. He became a devotee of several great saints, known and unknown, and they came to his home when they passed through the town. Neem Karoli Baba Maharaji was one of them. KK remembers it as an occasion for sweets and celebration. The first time Maharaji came to the house, he asked where the bed was that another great saint, Harat Khan Baba, had slept on, and he laid down on it. KK's father died when KK was still quite young, and Maharaji, as the family guru, became in many respects his father figure, but an unusual one. KK would skip school to hang out with Maharaji on his rambles in the hills. His school teacher, a devotee, would mark him present as long as KK would in turn arrange for him to see Maharaji. On an infrequent occasion when KK was actually in class, his teacher said, "You have been absent so much. Now that you are present, I am going to mark you absent." Continue breathing. We have 1 minute left here. The transition from this pose onto the other side is going to be really simple. So whenever you're ready, you can straighten the right leg and relax it, extend it next to the right. Take your bolster or the pillow, whatever you had that leg on, and roll it over your body and let it land on the right side of the body this time. And then bend the right knee and rest that entire leg on top of the bolster or the pillow. And again, here with your hands, you can release your hands to the side, palms up or palms down. You can interlace your fingers on your belly, or you can cactus your arms up and back, bending the elbows so that the palms face up. Make any adjustments you need to. Cover yourself with your blanket. And we'll spend the next 3 minutes here breathing a soothing and calm breath and sighing it out. Take a couple more breaths like that. Inhale and sigh it out. One more. Inhale and sigh it out. Again, relax the forehead. Make sure that your head is comfortable on your pillow, really supported. Soften the jaw. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Release the hands. Any hold, if your hands move out to the side on their own, let them. Just allow your body to fall wherever it may. And feel your full breath in the body as you inhale. And feel a sense of deepening on the exhale. We have about 1.5 minutes left here. The next posture we're going to go into is a supported shoulder stand. We're going to wind up stacking all our pillows or bolsters under our hips and end it with a nice little inversion. This is an excellent opportunity to practice your deep breathing, feeling the breath in the body, feeling the breath expand the heart space, expand the ribs, expand the belly, even expand gently the back body. And exhaling profoundly as you soften and continue to allow the body to soften. I'm going to begin to transition from here. So when you're ready, let's release that right leg off of the bolster and bend both knees and turn over to whatever side feels right for you in order for you to bring yourself back up into a seat. And now from here, we're going to place the bolster back onto the middle space of the bed. You can have actually removed any pillows from the head. So I'd rather you just be able to lay down flat on your back. And if by chance your chin winds up below the heart, then put a pillow under the head. And when you're ready, come to sit on your bolster or that stack of pillows. And you can use your hands to begin to back yourself down. Keep your feet on your bed with the knees bent, right? So this way you can lower yourself down gently. Release your back, your shoulders, and your head onto the bed. And just notice here how you feel. This is a slight inversion. And as you're ready, on an inhale, let's bring the knees in towards our chest. Let's hold here for about 2 breaths. And now whenever you're ready, Maria, if you feel comfortable with the knees together or separated, on an inhale, raise both the feet up so that the feet are down facing the ceiling, and see if you can find your ankles over your hips. And you'll be able to feel this because then it's going to feel as though your feet are floating and we're not holding on to anything. Even our buttocks, it's really soft. So when you find that place where it feels freeing, like you don't even have feet, you've arrived. Release your hands out to the side. Keep them close to the body, about, I don't know, 1 hand distance away, and palms up. And now here, just breathe the breath that's comfortable for you, that feels good for you here. I have a tendency of like really breathing deeply during restorative and all the postures as best I can, especially these where it's an inversion, or my heart is facing the sky. I like to use that opportunity to fill my body with the breath and let it go so that I can release that tension, right? And I love this inversion. This is just, it's just superb. You don't have to have your feet up on a wall. Doing this in your bed is perhaps one of the best things you can do before going to sleep. This induces rest, it induces sleep. It affects your central nervous system immediately. It's really good for swelling. It's good for excellent for circulation right now. Even your organs are getting revitalized and re-energized because of the inversion. It's excellent for the heart. It gives the heart a break from having to work so hard to pump that blood back up from the feet up towards the heart. So here we're doing a tremendous service to the heart, to the lungs, to the organs, the mind, the breath. This is just a really, really beautiful restorative pose. We'll be here for 2 more minutes. If at any point in time it feels better for you to release the feet onto the bed, having the knees bent, you can do that. So it would look like a supported bridge pose as opposed to a shoulder stand. So we can keep our feet on the bed, knees apart, or you can walk your feet out to the side so that the knees kind of lean in towards the center, towards each other, and then just release there and allow the knees and the thighs to land where they may. The option is yours. We have 1 more minute here. If your feet are up, start to make circles with your ankles in both directions. Wiggle your toes. You can crack your toes if you like that. I'm a toe cracker. You can turn the toes in towards each other and then out. So it's like we're rotating the hip joints. We're coming in, toes towards each other, toes away. So we're right here helping the hip bones with mobility. Find stillness. And as you're ready, let's bend the knees and hug the knees and towards the chest. And however you want to arrive, you can roll from here to the side so you can remove your bolster from the bed as we go into Shavasana. Or you can lower your feet down into a bridge, supported bridge. And on an inhale, you walk your heels back, lift the hips up, come up onto the toes, slide the bolster out, and slowly roll the spine down, vertebra by vertebra, from the top of the spine to the bottom. Tuck in your tailbone, and now release your feet, extending the legs out, separating your ankles wide apart, as wide as comfortable for you. Cover yourself up with your blanket. Get really comfortable with your pillows. Here you can prepare yourself to rest. So as you get really nice and comfortable, good. Get nice and comfortable, Maria. When you arrive, close your eyes. And we're going to do those 3 deep breaths. We'll inhale, retain, and then exhale. So as you're ready, take a breath in here, and then exhale. Inhale deeply into the belly. Inside out the mouth. Inhale. Hold. Inside out. 1 more just like that. Inhale. Hold. Inside out. Good. And close the eyes. Wiggle the toes. Make circles with your ankles in both directions. When you're ready, find the stillness at your feet. Make any adjustments with the legs, the ankles, the feet, the toes, the heels. And then find stillness in your feet. And now bring your awareness up the legs towards your hip area. And on your next inhale, I want you to squeeze your buttocks really tight so that your hips gently rise up off of the mattress. Hold that tension there for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release. Let the hips come back down. Soften. and let that go. And now bring your awareness from your hips up towards your navel. And here, I just want you to notice the movement that's involved as you're breathing. You know, in our pranayama, we focus a lot on breath awareness. So in your shavasana, when you bring your attention towards your navel and your heart, these are the two spaces in the body that you can really connect with your breath just by noticing the movement that's involved. So just notice with no judgment. Notice how it feels, the expansion in the front part of the body or in the side parts of the body. And notice if there's any tension inside, right? In the lungs, in the breath. How is your breath? And when you're ready to release that space, take a nice deep breath in and then sigh it out and let it go. Now bring your awareness from your navel up towards your heart space. And again, allow your attention to stay there and just notice what it feels like as you breathe in towards your heart space, your sternum. Notice the expansion of the chest or the ribs, the top part of the ribs. Notice what's happening in the back part of the body without judgment, just noticing. And when you're ready to let that go, take a deep breath in and sigh it out and let that go. Bring your awareness now to your hands, and I want you to wiggle your fingers and make circles with your wrists in both directions. Then I want you to touch your thumb to your pinky, thumb to your ring finger, thumb to your middle finger, thumb to the index, thumb to the index, thumb to the middle finger, thumb to the ring finger, thumb to the pinky. Make a fist in both hands and squeeze, squeeze, and then open the hands nice and wide and stretch the fingers apart, and then release the hands. Take a deep breath. Exhale, and allow the hands to rest wherever they land. Now bring your awareness up towards your shoulders. Release the shoulders from the ears and let the shoulders fall back and rest. Bring your awareness to your throat, and I want you to swallow a few times. And then unclench your jaw, unclench the teeth, soften the tongue, soften your lips, soften your forehead. Soften the skin at the back of your head.